Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelly, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. As a career coach, I have been, I rummage through articles all the time, and just to see what is going on, to keep my pulse on the job market. And there's something that is very concerning to me that I'm not understanding why this is happening and why it's happening now. Um, I've been hearing things in the buzz in the news, and of course, there may be some other YouTubers that are talking about it, but I'm concerned from a career coach standpoint and also just as a concerned citizen standpoint. Um, the topic: why are young men working less and not understanding um, the process behind it? So let's dig in here. Just let's dig in because I want to have a better understanding. Okay, it says here from Newsweek. The article was written by. It was published a few months ago. Women working more than ever as a rising number of men don't want. I'm sorry. No. This is the wrong article. This is the article I want to start off with. It says here. Make sure we have that. Here we go. Yeah, the article titled "A Shortage of Young Men in the Workplace Could Weigh on Housing, Social Security, and the Growth for Years to Come." Jennifer Soar from the Business Insider wrote this article. Okay, so let's dive in, shall we? Declining workforce participation among younger men could weigh in on the U.S. economy for years. The trend could be a drag on economic growth, housing, and Social Security funds, experts say. The effect could last decades as there are no clear ways to spark a turnaround. America's job market is mysteriously short on young men. Wondering why. It's a trend experts say will drag on the economy and could take years to fix, mainly because men have already been dropping out of the workforce for decades now. According to Carol Graham, a senior fellow economic studies at Brookings Institute, the labor force participation rate of prime working age men has been declining over the last 20 years. Today, 10% of men aged 25 to 54, which are significant working ages, don't have a job and aren't looking for one. More than triple the percentages recorded in 1955, when just 3% were out of the workforce, according to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This is coming from a very reputable source. That amounts to around 7 million prime working age men who are not working, and has introduced a host of problems for the economy, leaving key industries understaffed and adding to the strain on government services and social safety nets, Graham and other experts told Business Insider. Some of these drop out of college and are just sort of forlorn and have no purpose or meaning in life. They're not likely to be married. They're likely to be living in their parents' basements, Graham said. They're lonely and they're isolated. Oh boy, that's not a good combination. The economic burden can also compound through generations, she added, giving that men who have exited the workforce tend to be lower income because you're not working anywhere. Well, we'll get into some of the caveats of that. Economic burden can also compound through generations, she added, given that men who have exited the workforce tend to be lower income and are more likely to report mental and physical health problems, which impact their children's ability to build wealth. Zach Mabel, a research professor at Georgetown University, theorizes that falling labor force participation among young men could impact the economy for at least several decades. At this point, it's a long trend over the course of multiple decades that doesn't appear to be improving and could have long term consequences, he said. Straining the economy. The economy appears to already be feeling the decline of male workforce participation. Despite a small post pandemic rebound, the US GDP per employee fell 1% in 2022, the first decline seen since the World Bank began recording productivity data over 30 years ago. The overall labor force participation rate, meanwhile, has slumped to 62%. Yikes. Besides the years following the pandemic, the workforce participation rate hasn't been that low since the 70s, the World Bank data shows. The trend could weigh on key industries like infrastructure and manufacturing, where women are often less likely to seek work due to social stigma, Mabel said. That means it could be hard for those industries to find workers, which is a big problem considering the need for labor in growing areas like semiconductors, he added. In a situation where you have millions of men foregoing college as a result, are far less productive and less able to hold on to a stable job. Yes, that certainly would raise concerns. Our national productivity would suffer as a result, Mabel said. And while the housing market may be booming now, it is also possible that men leaving the workforce will weigh on that market as well. Meredith Whitley, a longtime Wall Street forecaster, predicts home prices could drop as much as 30% over a period of years thanks to men working less, being less interested in starting families, and being more likely to live with their parents. Those trends all weigh on household formation, which is the most important factor in determining home prices over a long term, Whitley says. 42% of men who have exited the workforce live with at least one parent, a 2017 Brooklyn study found. This is such a seismic shift in social structure, she told BI, which is on Business Insider. It's hard to say how long it lasts. Government benefits are also hugely taxed by men who are not in the workforce. Men who have dropped out of the workforce, for one, are significantly more likely to suffer from opiate addiction, Graham said. 44% who were cut out of the workforce said they need to take pain medication, more than double the portion recorded in employed men, where just 20% took pain meds, a separate Brookings study found. 50% of men not looking for work said they had a physical, mental, or behavioral reason, according to the surveys conducted by BPC Artemis. 11% of men who have exited the workforce relying entirely on government welfare programs for income, according to Brookings data. They cost the healthcare system. They go to emergency rooms and they're sick. They're not going to be able to pay the bills, Graham said. That's coming out of somewhere. Oh, Lord. The welfare burden is exasperated by the fact that unemployed men aren't contributing to the benefit programs such as Social Security, taxes. Potentially, more and more people would benefit and depend on resources that we don't actually have the means to provide. And that then would really present itself a huge societal conundrum, Mabel warned. There's no clear answer for how to get young men back into the workforce. The cause appears to be multifold: disabilities, incarcerations, and wages not being enticing enough, to name a few. But possible solutions could lie in helping train men for the jobs that are available, according to Graham, or finding ways to give young men role models, such as by hiring more male teachers, Mabel said. That's clearly an economic cost for more than one generation if the trend continues, Graham told BI. There's lots of ways it costs society in addition to their human lives. And that is actually just one of the articles I want to touch on. Keep in mind, guys, that there are caveats to this, which I want to also touch on. Um, let me see here. There are caveats to that. There are men out there um, that are independent contractors that work for themselves. There are men out there that have businesses, whether it be online or off. There are also young men out there that are gamers that are earning money in that way. A lot of those three, a lot of them are not living in mom's basement at 38 years old. Um, there are some men that are in that position because they're saving for a home. I'm not here to blame or bash those who are being a productive part of society, but I am also here to bring some accountability to those that aren't being responsible for themselves and are burdening some other family member or some other person to take care of responsibilities that they as a grown adult should be taking care of. I also want to touch on another article before I get into why I decided to have this discussion. Let's see here. Let me make sure. Let me go to the second article I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay. No, this is not it. Hold on a second. Let me make sure here. Let me go to, where is it? Sometimes these things work with me. Sometimes it doesn't. There it is. The more recent article that was written just a week ago, more men in their prime, from CNBC. It was written by Juo Hong Lee. More men in their prime working years are neither working nor looking for jobs. Now, he's a male in this position, and he's going to provide some insight as to why. Okay. Key points. A growing number of men in their prime working years, age 25 to 54, are dropping out of the workforce. The article talks about the same statistics. About 10.5 of that group, or roughly 6.8 million men nationwide, were neither working nor looking for employment in August of 2024. That's just, a month ago, give or take a week, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, sorry. Education is an important predictor of the men's odds of being cut out of the labor force. Of course, men have been steadily dropping out, especially between the ages of 25 to 54, who are considered to be in their prime working years. Yeah, that is prime working years. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate for prime age working men was 3.4% in August 2024. This number is primarily includes those who are unemployed and looking for a job. But about 10.5 of the men in their prime working years, or roughly 6.8 million men nationwide, are neither working nor looking for employment, according to, as compared with just a 2.5 in 1954. The long-term decline in the labor market participation by so-called prime age men is tremendously worrying for our society, our economy, and probably our political system, says Nicholas Ebersole, a political economist at the American Enterprise Institute. Education is an important predictor of prime age men's odds of being out of the labor force. The big impacts are on the non-college education groups, on their ability to enter and stay in the labor market, said the director, Jeff Scroll, a director of the Center on Education and Workplace and the Workforce of Georgetown University. A study of the Pew Research Center found that men who are not college educated leave the workforce at higher rates than men who are. At the same time, fewer young men have been enrolling in college over the past decade. They used to graduate with a high school education and have a good, stable job, according to Carol Graham, the senior fellow of economic studies at the Brookings Institution. Since then, due to technology driven growth and a little bit due to Chinese competition, you've had a lot of manufacturing firms in places where they are located that were one horse towns become ghost land. Yep, because of the economy and things of that nature. Well, part of it, and that's the end of that article. That was a short read, but part of it is that the economic boom towns of 1954, a lot of those manufacturing jobs went overseas and never came back. However, just like how women in this society have had to pivot, go ahead and grab and become more educated and sign up for different things. There's different opportunities. If manufacturing is not available, then there are a lot of career paths that young men can get into that is not attached to a college degree. They're short in the labor market of plumbers. They're short in the labor market of electricians. They're short in the labor market of contractors. They're short in the labor market of masons that can do a lot of these different things. They're short in the labor market for a lot of tradesmen. So, what I'm not understanding, yes, some of those jobs went overseas, but there are other opportunities that you can take advantage of as young men. I'm not understanding why. What is the reason behind it? You have so many resources available to you, just like it's available to the young ladies, it's available to you as well. There's really, to be honest with you, I was watching another YouTuber, Burning Bougie. I'm going to reference her in the comments as well, that talked about this particular topic. And there were males that pretty much provided every excuse under the book, that it's because of misandry, it's because of all these different things, when it's because women are working and they don't want to get married, so we don't want to work anymore. Oh, it's because the little Miss Piggy went to the moon and back. It's because of all of these different things. What I did not see in a lot of those comments in her video is taking personal responsibility for your own personal economy, which is what I advocate for here at Mentor Shelley Consulting. I am a career coach that believes in personal responsibility. I am also a career coach that believes in you enriching your own personal economy through business ownership, through freelancing, through contracting, and through having a clear and successful career path, all of which can enrich your own personal economy. Of course, let's keep things legal here. I want to make sure that's clear. But at the end of the day, what I saw lacking in that entire, a lot of these young men or older men, I'm not sure what their age groups were responding to her video talking about this exact topic as to why men are not working, or why are they working less, or why are they not participating in the job market. As I said in the early part of the video, some of them may be running their own business. Some of them may be gaming and doing things that that puts them in the gaming and making money doing that. There are some of them that are YouTubers. There's some of them that are running ad agencies. There's some of them that they provide services. They're freelancers. Depending if you're a freelancer doing, work in the yard, or you're a lawn guy, or you put up fences. If you're working in some capacity, whether you're working as a contractor, you're working as a freelancer, you're working as an independent person instead of being directly employed as a W 2 employee, I salute you. I have no problems with that. What I have a problem with is young men that call themselves men making excuses for not being a productive part of society and leaving their personal responsibility and their personal economy to another human being when you're supposed to be responsible for yourself. Um, just like how I would expect that when you left your parents' home, you are going to take personal responsibility for yourself and not burden any other human with being responsible for you. Um, just like how I would expect that from myself, because that's what I was taught in my upbringing. I would expect you as a young man to be doing the same, making steps and taking strides to be able to handle your personal responsibility, paying for your bills and taking care of, if you do have children, your children, taking care of the roof over your head, and not being dependent on someone else to provide that for you. Because ultimately, if you're a grown adult, that is not a being personally responsible for yourself is not something that is it not a cherry on top. It's kind of an expectation of a grown adult. So I wasn't really understanding the mindset and the premise for a lot of these men that were in the Burn and Bougie comments, saying, making all these what I see as excuses for decisions they made to be in positions where they're not enriching their own personal economy through all of these different means. We're in 2024. There's so many opportunities available to you to be able to enrich your own personal economy. Making videos on YouTube is one of them. So I want the young men that were watching that, and maybe there's something that's rising up in you and you're not sure what direction to take. I do have a free resource at mentorshelley.com/DCG. It is in the bottom of these comments over here. If you see it, there we go, right here. Right here. Here we go. And I do have other services available. If you're looking to get your resume redone so you can start participating in the job market, if you're looking for a job or if you're looking for a better job, let's say that, you can go to mentorshelley.com/resumes. Of course, if you're looking for other resources or you're needing to brush up on your interviewing skills, I do have another resource, mentorshelley.com/interview. It is a guided resource. It is a paid resource where it helps you to brush up on your interviewing skills before you go in and you negotiate the salary that you are looking to obtain with this employment. You have to start from somewhere because personal accountability and personal responsibility is paramount as an adult. So I would want to make sure that you have what you need to enrich your own personal economy. Of course, this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I want the young men to understand that no matter what happened to you before, no matter what you have been through as far as relationships and all of that jazz, let's put that aside for a moment. Not that you don't deal with your issues, but I want you to remember you are responsible for your own personal economy. And blaming and projecting blame on other people, situations, circumstances, and things will not help you to enrich your own personal economy until you take personal responsibility for your own personal economy. All right, so I'm here providing resources. One of them is mentorshelley.com/DCG. That is a free resource for you to download and go ahead and participate and follow through with what it says. If you're looking for help with a resume, you can go to mentorshelley.com/resume. We can work one-on-one so I can help you to complete that resume. Or if you want to work on doing it yourself, I have a resume template guide on that page as well. And of course, if you're looking to brush up on interviews, I do have a resource there. That is a paid resource. It's mentorshelley.com/interview. At the end of the day, personal responsibility and enriching your own personal economy is your primary job. Once you're responsible for enriching your own personal economy, whether it be through a job, through contracting, through freelancing, or through a business venture, then and only then can you say, oh, other factors may affect it, but you want to make sure that you're personally responsible for yourself. All right, guys, this is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally as you take the time, make the effort to enrich your own personal economy. All right, guys, take care. You have a good one. Bye.